Alright, hello everyone, this is Team Rocket Draw, also known as 707 Brostown, with another video. And this time we're gonna draw Articuno. So as you guys can see on screen, this is how he ends up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw him, let's get started. I'm also gonna put up a reference right now, just so it could help us, and at the same time you guys could get some details and know how he should look like, but just remember, he's not gonna look like the reference 100%, but we do get pretty close. Alright, so as you guys can see right there, I did a line going across, and then we're gonna do another one right in the middle going down, and then right here I actually measure it. You guys don't have to do this, but if you guys do this, it's gonna be way better, it's gonna be more accurate. So as you guys can see right here, I measure the paper. So I measure from the left, from the middle line to the point on the left, and then make sure that on both sides is even, and then the one going down and up should be twice the length of the ones going sideways, so I do measure it right here, and then I just mark it off, and then I just extend the lines, and then I do the same thing going down. And this is just gonna help us do the shape at the beginning, and this is like the only shape we're gonna do. This is just gonna help us place everything else, just gonna make it way easier, and once we got that, we're just gonna make it into this oval shape. You guys will see right now I'm just fixing the lines, and if you guys do this, honestly it's gonna come out pretty good. I like how he came out. This is my first time drawing Articuno, but I like how he came out. So right here on each side and each point, I do this small line, and then that's just gonna help us do the circle. So just basically just connect it. You guys don't have to do those lines. They were just for me to help me place it, because usually what I tend to do is send at a point, since it is a point right there on each side. So it's just to help me round the shape a little bit, So just make it into an oval shape. It should be the same on both sides. So if it doesn't look right to you guys, then you guys could just change it. Like I said, you guys don't have to do those lines that I did at the points. That was just for me. And one way that you guys can know that it's good is if all those four shapes are even. They look the same, or at least are close to, because it's gonna be really hard to make them all the same. But the better you guys make it, the easier it'll be once we start doing everything else, since we are gonna base almost everything off this shape. And then I did end up coloring Articuno, so I'll show you guys how it looks like colored and everything. Alright, so now that we got this, we're gonna start by doing the head first, and it starts off around there. As you guys can see, it's just look at the gap that it makes from the middle line going down the oval shape. And then it's basically the same thing on the other side, but as you guys can see, the other side, it doesn't connect with the oval shape. And then it's around here. This is how high it goes, so I'm right here just showing you guys how high it goes. I'm sorry. And that's just gonna be for the beak. So you guys can use the reference just to make it easier on you guys. As you guys can see right here, I started off by doing the bottom of the beak, or I think the top of the beak. So I'm just looking at the shape that it makes, and it makes this weird triangle shape, and then the bottom goes to around there, and then like this. So like I said, just look at the reference, just so I can make it a little bit easier on you guys, because right now I'm just doing a rough outline of Articuno. Later on I do go back and I change the beak a little bit. This is just for right now. And now that we got the beak, we can start doing the hair that he has on the top. So we're gonna extend the right line a little bit, just so we can know where to bend the hair. So it should bend around there, and as you guys can see, this hairline should be at an angle. It should be going up a little bit, it's not straight. And then we're gonna basically do another line right here, and it should be, I think I remember, the same length as the one going. I think I measure here, so this is how long this one is. So yeah, so it should be basically the same length as this one right here as I'm measuring. And as you guys can see, I'm using a paper. You guys can use a ruler, you guys can use your fingers, you guys can basically use anything that can help you measure it, so Now we're gonna do the rest. So then we're just gonna connect these two lines. So right here I draw this to extend that middle line from the oval, just to show you guys where it should roughly bend. It might not be the same for you guys, since everybody does it different, you know. It all depends on how you guys did the oval shape, but it's just a rough estimate of where it should bend, you know. It doesn't have to be exactly like that. And then we're gonna start doing the other one, which is I believe a little bit bigger, and it should bend a little bit higher than that one. As I point out, where it bends should be a little bit higher than that. So remember not to press too hard, because there is gonna be some erasing. So I just wanted to say that before we do more of the drawing. So it does set in at a point too, as you can see right here. And now the third hair actually sticks to the left a little bit, but they all start at the same point. So right here I start out by doing the top, so it starts off around there from the other one, and then around the same level as the first one, where the first one bends, it should bend also. So then he does have like a little bit showing right there on the other side. And we're almost done. Now we just need to finish the head. So as you guys can see on the reference, it is curved a little bit. I actually had trouble with that. I actually changed it. I don't do it exactly the same. Once again, if you guys want to make any changes, go for it, as long as it looks right on your drawing. It doesn't have to be 100% like the reference, you know. And I do make some changes, so that's why I said it wasn't gonna be 100%. Alright, so now that we got that around here, we're gonna do the wings. And I draw a line right under the beak, or where the beak is, just so we can know where to bend the wing, in other words. So I think this one extends a little bit further than that, or actually I do that intentionally. And just pay attention to the angles, you know. And then this one goes a little bit higher than the head, than the hairs. I don't think they're hairs, I think they're like crystals, or they might be hairs, I'm not sure. But then just do this line like this. And right here I think I measured that line, and I think the one that goes, the highest one where it bends, should be the same length as the middle one. I'll show you guys right now when I actually use the paper. So this one right here should be the same length as this one. So I do measure, and as you guys can see right here, I'm using the paper. It just makes it way easier, you know. I actually use the edge for one point, and then I mark it off another point on the other side. And as you guys can see right here, it should roughly be the same length. It doesn't have to be exact, you know, once again, but it'll just make it a lot easier. Alright, so now that we start that, I think I started doing the other wing. Yeah, and as you guys can see, it should be in the same level, just so it could look right. And then just extend it. And as you can see, it's pretty close to the beak, and then around a little bit higher than the beak, as I was pointing out. Yeah, that's where it should bend. And then right here I do a line on the side of the oval, just so I can know that it shouldn't go further than that. It's just a reference line, you guys don't have to do it. And then right here I do another line going from one bend of the wing to the other one, just to roughly know where to bend this one again, this wing. And the mistake that I end up making is that I make the left wing bigger or higher than the right one. I didn't pay attention to that. As you guys can see right here, the left wing's a little bit higher, and on the reference I think is the opposite, but at the same time it really doesn't matter, you know. So you guys could just look at the reference and just try to make the right one a little bit higher than the left one, but it's not that necessary. Alright, so now we're gonna start doing the hair, or the stomach area. So as you guys can see right here, where the lines go on the oval shape, and then this one actually extends a little bit further than the oval shape, I believe, and then this one starts around there. So just try to place these lines on the same spots as the oval on your drawing, you know. And we're gonna use this the oval shape just to get the side of the body, and then I erase it just to get a better look at it. And then actually I think I extended just a little bit more. So just pay close attention, you know, to where the lines go. And as you guys can see, that one doesn't go all the way up in the oval shape. And we're pretty much got most of it done. So now we're gonna start doing the body. So I think this is where the leg starts. Like, this is the actual body, and it starts off around there, and then the leg starts around here. It's almost connected to that fur on the chest, and it just makes this weird shape, like this oval shape. And then around there it just kind of bends a little bit. As you guys can see, it comes off from the oval. And I do go back and I change it. I make it a little bit thicker. I put thicker thighs on on Articuno. I make the drumsticks a little bit more thicker later on, but for right now, that's just how I do it. And then as you guys can see, it connects to the neck, and it doesn't go inside of the oval shape. It goes a little bit on the outside. And now that we got that right here at the bottom, I make this shape right here, and that's just gonna be for where the leg starts. And then we're gonna use the oval to do the other leg. So you guys can see right here, I just round it off a little bit, you know. And then I do this right here, these two lines, and then I just connect both of them, and that's just gonna be the the hair where the leg starts. And right here, I think I erase those reference lines, but we do need them, so don't erase them, you know. Just do them really light. All right, so now I start doing, I believe, the legs. And the reason I measure stuff is just to help you guys to make it a little bit more accurate. That way it could be, how should I say, more proportional to the actual drawing. That way it could look a little bit better. So right here I'm measuring the length of the oval shape, and then I measure and then I mark it off, starting on the oval shape at the bottom, and then I do this line. And basically that line is gonna help us know how long to do the feet, because the tail should, the point of the tail should be right on that line, you know. So now we know that the feet shouldn't go that far down, and it's just, once again, a reference line to help us know how long to do the feet and the tail. Alright, so now we're gonna start doing the feet, and as you guys can see, the top lines are pretty short, and then where they bend, they get pretty long. And then around halfway from the oval, where the oval at the bottom of the oval and the line that we did at the bottom, that's where we should start doing the feet. And just remember to do as I point out right here, to do both of the feet, the thickness of the feet evenly, you know. Don't make one leg way thicker than the other one. And I think I was saying feet, I meant legs. So just try to make the legs a little bit thicker. And as you guys can see on this side, they're a little bit longer than on the other leg that we did first. And basically start doing them around the same level where the feet start, or the claws. I don't think they're called feet. Alright, so now for the other wing. So around halfway of the oval shape, as you guys can see, we're gonna use that middle line again. We're just gonna make this shape right here. And right here I was just pointing out, or I wasn't pointing out, I was just getting the shape right here. And this is just a rough shape. It's gonna be once again another guideline, and just try to make it even all along, you know, starting at the bottom and ending at the wing. And that's just gonna help us place the feathers. And once again, do the same thing on this side, but on the left side, the left wing, it starts a little bit higher than the middle line. As you guys can see right here, it doesn't exactly start at the same area as the other one. And as you guys can see, the left one's a little bit smaller, you know, it's a little bit thinner. So remember that, since it is further away than us. So as you guys can see, they're not even. The left one's a little bit smaller, so just keep that in mind. And then right here I'm measuring it, and now I was just pointing out that it should roughly be even as it goes down, but it should be getting shorter, you know, skinnier the closer it gets to the body. And right here I'm just pointing out the top, it's roughly the same as the other one, and then it just keeps getting skinnier. Although once again, the right wing is a little bit thicker. Now that we got that, now we know where to place the lines for the wing. You know, that was just the reference lines, because if we didn't do that, it was gonna be a little bit more difficult placing all the feathers on the wings. Alright, so now that we got that right here, I do these two this line right here for the, how should I say, I guess it's like the bone on the wing. I'm pretty sure it's the bone. So then it goes around halfway of the top line, and then I do this another reference line. As you guys can see, it's almost in the middle of the whole shape, and then this is just gonna help us know how far or where to start the lines for the feathers. If you guys know what I mean, it's just another reference line. As you guys can see, it's almost in the middle. It's a little bit bigger on the right side, and then we can use that just to place the feathers. Now you guys could try to do the same thing as the reference. I recommend that you guys use the reference instead of my drawing for this, because I actually do more feathers than the reference. And like I said, it doesn't really matter, you know, how many you do, as long as it looks good. If you guys want to do the same amount as the reference, go for it, but it's just gonna take a little bit longer. So just remember to make the feathers the same thickness. Don't do one like really thick and then the other one really skinny, although it does have some skinnier feathers, but once again, I recommend that you guys try to stick to the reference. Alright, so now that we got that, we're gonna start here at the bottom, and I actually start a little bit lower than I should have, but once again, I go back and I change that later on. So now I start here, and then I meet up in the middle. So I start one side, then I start on the other side, and then I just meet up in the middle, just to make it a little bit more accurate. And as you guys can see right here, just use the guidelines that we did for the wings, just so you guys can know where to put them, you know, how far to make them, how long, and where to start the other one. That's the reason that we place those guidelines in the middle of the wing. And then right here, I was just looking at some of the shapes that the wing makes on the reference. Like I said before, I actually add some more, but just try to stay close to the reference. And as you guys can see, the tips are a little bit how should I say, rounded off on one side, and the other one, it ends like at a point. So that's one of those small details that you guys can pay attention to. And basically that's what we do. And right here I just speed it up because it's just a waste of time right here. It's basically the same thing on the other wing, and once again, do the bone on the wing, which is right on the side of the wing, the first line that we did for the wing. And then basically do the same thing for the feathers. And I try to stick once again close to the reference. Look at the reference and just try to do the same shapes and everything. But once again, it doesn't have to be 100%. And now that we got that, we pretty much got the wings. As you guys can see, if it doesn't look right, you guys can make any changes later on. But right now we're gonna start the tail. So as you guys can see, the tail starts around the bottom of the body, and then it starts around here. This is how thick it is. And then I did that line going down on the side of the wing, just so I can know basically how far to make it. And then this line, the top, gets pretty close to the wing, so that's what I do. I curve it, and then right here I do a line going across, and that's just gonna help me know where to I believe curve it. There we go. So right now I'm just looking at this shape. Try to make this shape. As you guys can see, it's this weird shape, and it's the right side's a little bit thicker than the left side where it connects. Now that we got this, we're just gonna do the bottom, and then it should be around there where this leg starts. So now that we got that, and then this one starts off right at the line where the wing ends. If you guys do a line going down the wing, this where this line should roughly start. And then as you guys can see, it makes this line right here. And right here I'm just pointing out that how close it is to the top of the tail. And then it curves around here. And once again, we're gonna use that reference line that we did earlier to know how to do the tail, the tip of the tail. And then just basically look at the reference and look how thick the tail is, how fat it is, you know, and then just connect both lines, because he does have a really big tail. And then just connect them, and it just gives you the shape of the tail. So it's all shapes, you know. That's how when I do drawings, this is what I look at. I look at the shapes that everything makes, and then it just makes everything more proportioned. All right, so now for the feet, the claws, and everything, I recommend once again that you guys look at the reference, just to make it a little bit easier on you, or you guys could just go step by step. And he does have pretty long feet. And here for the toes, I noticed that they're almost half the thickness of the leg. So that's one of those small details or things that you could compare the toes or the leg or the feet to, and then just try to do the same thing as the reference, you know, the same amount. And I remember to do them like the same thickness, you know, don't make one too fat compared to the other ones. And this one does come out a little bit further from the tail, so it should be a little bit lower than the one on the left, because it is a little bit lower, as you guys noticed at the top, where the leg starts, that those lines are a little bit longer to where it bends. And then once again, try to stick to the same size as the first foot, you know, just so it could look almost the same, you know. And right here for the claws, honestly, I couldn't see them on the reference, or at least I don't remember, because I don't have the reference on screen right now. But I think I added the claws. And we're pretty much done. We got everything done now. Now it's just adding the details like the eye and any lines, any details on the tail, erasing those reference lines, and we're pretty much done. And honestly, he was a little bit difficult, but as long as, once again, you guys place everything right, those lines that we did earlier at the beginning, he shouldn't be that hard, you know. It all depends on how old you are and how experienced you are on drawing. So hopefully this tutorial was helpful, because I tried to simplify as much as I could, you know. So now right here I'm just adding the lines on the tail. So right here I was just comparing it to the reference on how close it is to the other lines of the tail. For example, this one to the right one, and then the other one to the left one. Basically that's what I do, I just compare. And the more details you add, once you start adding the details, it's just gonna start looking like Articuno, you know. It's just gonna start looking way better. Right here I do the eye. Once again, I recommend that you guys look at the reference, because I'm pretty bad at doing eyes. And I was pointing out right there that it shouldn't go lower than that bottom line of the beak, of the top part, and it just makes this weird shape right here. Honestly, it's really small. And like I said, just look at the reference, because I'm pretty bad at doing eyes. Like if you guys seen my other videos, I'm not that good at doing eyes, so I recommend that you guys look at the reference. So now, just by adding the eyes, you guys can see we're pretty much done. The only thing we need left is just adding any other small details. For example, on the stomach, I believe he has some lines there, but I'll do that later, you know. Now that I got that, this is what I end up doing. I erased the whole drawing completely, the whole drawing, and then I go back, because some of those lines are still visible, you know. I can still see them since I did press a little bit hard, but I don't recommend that you guys did do that unless you guys pressed, unless you guys can still see those lines on your paper, you know. And then I just fixed it. I just erased everything and just added the lines that needed to be added. So you guys could go any way about that. Just erase all those reference lines, and then just add any details. Look at the reference, you know, just so you guys can know where the details go and everything, you know. And we're pretty much done. So as you guys can see, I do end up coloring it, and honestly, when I was drawing it, I wasn't too happy with it, like with the color, you know. I'm not that good at coloring, so I wasn't too happy while I was coloring it. I didn't think I was doing a good job, but later on, after I finished the drawing and the coloring and everything, I saw it, and I'm like, you know what, it doesn't look that bad. Like, I know I could have done way better, but it honestly doesn't look that bad. And I had a lot of trouble because one of the color pencils, actually the tip broke, and I couldn't get it back. I tried sharpening it and I couldn't get it back, so I had a hard time with it. So it could have been a lot better, but I had a hard time doing it since I didn't have one of the main colors that I was trying to use. And as you guys can see, I started off by using this lighter blue and doing like the tip of the wings, and then I used the darker blue just to go over the lighter blue and just make it like a different tone. And then I believe this is where it broke, and I'm just using the broken tip to use the color, and it's not that easy to use, so I did have some trouble with it. And then for the fur and the stomach, I used this grayish color. So as you guys can see, this is how he ends up looking like. I like how he came out, honestly. I didn't think he was gonna come out that good, or at least in my opinion, I think it's pretty good. And as you guys can see, I used once again the lighter blue on the edges of the wing, and then I just used the lighter on any areas that are light, and then I just pressed a little bit harder on the regular blue areas, and then I used this darker blue, as you guys can see, on the hair, or the I'm not sure if it's hair at the top of his head. That's the natural color of it. As you guys can see, it's a little bit dark, and then I just used that to go over the regular blue on the darker areas. For example, on the left wing, you guys can see right there where the wing starts, a little bit darker. And then I also used it like on the tail and some other areas, and then the rest I just used that lighter baby blue color to color it. And then I just outlined it in pencil just so I could give that drawing style look, And then once again, for the fur or the stomach area, like the whatever that is, I used the gray, a really light gray, and then I just did some strokes with the lighter blue just so it can make it look like fur, it just, I don't know, just texture. I didn't press that hard, as you guys can see, and because I think it's just white, but I just wanted to add the blue just so it could go a little bit with the body, and then at the top of the hair I just used that dark blue, and then just left some highlights on there. And then for the eye, I just used the light brown, and then for the beak, I used the same light gray, and I did the same thing for the feet. So you guys could go color it your own way, but that's basically what I did. So as you guys can see, this is how he ended up looking like. And like I mentioned before, the left wing's a little bit higher than the right one, and on the reference is the opposite. So that's why I told you guys earlier that if you guys wanted to change it, you guys could. But I didn't think it was that bad, it doesn't make a big change. And honestly, since the left one is a little bit smaller, I guess it would have been a little bit higher than the right one, since it is further away. But it's just me, And if you guys don't like how that looks, you guys could change anything once you guys finish your drawing. Maybe the wings are too skinny, you guys could change that. Maybe the legs don't look right, you guys could go and change that, or the tail. Because once you guys got your drawing done, just erase all those reference lines, just erase all those extra lines, and then just so you guys could get your final drawing. And then that's when you guys can notice any changes that you guys might want to make. But I didn't do that many changes. I just added the details. For example, in the first, you guys can see it does have some lines, and then also where the feet or where the legs start, the shape that we did earlier, I just erased that top line and then just made it spiky right there. And I think that's it. I didn't do anything. I think I changed the thickness of one of the thighs, as I mentioned before, on the right leg. I just made it a little bit thicker, just because he looked a little bit too skinny, so I made him a little bit thicker. It all depends how big or how thick you did the oval shape at the beginning, so it all depends on that. But I think it's a pretty good size, and overall it came out pretty good. So if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, please leave a like. It really helps me out, and it doesn't take any time for you guys. It's just pressing a button. So make sure you leave a like. And if you guys want to join Team Rocket, if you guys want to join Team Rocket for more tutorials on how to draw Pokemon, speed drawings and everything, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I do around 3 videos a week, so you guys could look forward to more Pokemon tutorials. And if you guys want to share your drawings with me and everybody else, all the Team Rocket grunts, make sure you send your drawings. For example, right now you drew Articuno and you want to share with everyone, just send it to share with me on Twitter. You guys will find everything on the description at the bottom of the video. Just send it to my Twitter. I also made a Facebook just for this, because some people said that they didn't have Twitter, so I also made a Facebook. So once again, I'll leave the name at the bottom of the description, the link to it. And then I also did it my email, like I put my email, that way you guys could email me your drawings with your name and everything. If you guys want your name and everything, or just your YouTube name, just send it and just put your name or your YouTube name, you know, just contact me, in other words. And then I'll make sure to put your drawing at the beginning of my next videos, so everybody can see them, you know. So make sure you guys send your drawings in, because up to now I haven't gotten any. So don't be afraid, don't be scared, you know. It's just art, you know. Nobody's gonna judge. Everybody is at their own level, you know. So hopefully you guys found this tutorial helpful, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next video. Team Rocket Draws, also known as 707 Bro Sound, out.